This is Cole Porter tune of the week 35. Too darn hot, which is not very appropriate today because it's the end of November and it's pretty cold outside. But this is another great tune by Cole Porter that we don't often play. Maybe because, again, it's not clear what the form is. So let's just play the tune the way I kind of decided that I think we should play it. And then I entered those chords into iReal Pro. And then I'll talk about how people use different variations of the changes. And I'll talk about some ideas on how to solo over these chords. So you know the drill. We'll play the melody. And then it's, again, a long form. So we'll play maybe one chorus each. I'll solo for a chorus, and then I'll comp for you for a chorus, and then maybe we'll play the melody again. We shall see what happens. Your solo. play the melody again. So the form is a little bit unclear. There's A section and then that repeats. And then there's this B section. But then most versions I listen to, they go back and do a little, like a coda, like a little extra A section. You kind of need that for the lyrics to make sense if you listen to the musical version and the lyrics of the song. But I don't think everybody solos over those last chords. The last little extra section of where the Too Darn Hot comes back. What is it? The last 8 bars. So some versions don't have the last 8 bars. Some versions don't have the last 8 bars in the solo section. And then some versions don't even have the B section. It's just the A. In the real book, I think it's the 5th edition of the real book, it's just the A section. And there is some recordings of that. But the most famous version, I think, is that I've heard is Ella Fitzgerald. And she does this the way I did it here. But then when the soloing starts, it's the blowing, it's just like arranged, like big band. So they play over different sections. So you don't know really what the form is. And that's also very common that they play this the way we just did. But then the soloing, you could divide it. So somebody solos over A and whatever. Then there's another version that I listened to with Emmett Cohen. Yeah, I know you. A lot of you are following Emmett Cohen's YouTube channel, and where he invites people to play. I think at his house. It's one of the better jazz. I don't know, the most happening jazz scene. I think is around Emmett Cohen and the people that he plays with. I love that he's not afraid to play like early jazz. He can play with very modern jazz, but then they go back and play like even stride piano and stuff like that, like early jazz, which a lot of modern jazz musicians shy away from, but not Emmett Cohen. He's been very successful kind of mixing these modern and earlier styles. And he has a guest, Katie Georgie, well, I'm probably butchering her name. So I listened to that, and it turns out that this singer went to the same, she's a graduate from the same college in Canada that I am. So I thought it was kind of interesting. And they do it, again, the way we just did. But Emmett plays over the whole thing, and then he plays another 2 A sections, I think. And then the vocals come back from the top. I don't know if they did that, planned it out, or if they just did it like that. Oh yeah, this is from the musical Kiss Me Kate, so you can listen to that version. There is another version with Stacey Kent has recorded it. The version I'm looking for is from an old movie. Oh yeah, there's another version on YouTube. I will link to it with Ann Miller, legendary tap dancer, and it's pretty awesome. It's from 1953. Kiss Me Kate. I guess that's the movie based on the musical, I'm guessing, or maybe it's just a movie. I'm not sure, but it's a pretty good and scene. And the form there is similar to what we just did, even though there's a key change. But it's not a, again, we still don't know really how to do it when we play it with a regular jazz situation. But I think if you brought in what I just did to a gig, whatever, that would work. I think the original version is in F minor. Because it's a male vocalist. And the chord there is in the original version is a minor chord. Not a sharp 9 chord. That's what jazz musicians do. The Ella Fitzgerald version is in C minor. So a lot of people play it in C minor because I think if Ella Fitzgerald has recorded some of these tunes, then it's an accepted jazz repertoire tune. As I've said in these videos, a lot of these tunes are more musical tunes than jazz tunes, but if Ella recorded them, and she recorded a lot of Cole Porter tunes, then it's definitely a jazz tune. So when you have a situation like this, I would play C minor 6, G7, maybe sharp 9. That chord could be D minor 755, right? Let's loop those chords. So I wouldn't worry too much about scales or chord scales or arpeggios too much. I would think more blues, like I think that's how the Ella arrangement starts, kind of like. And what's her name? Katie starts her solo, I think, like this, like something like that, and Emmett starts his solo like this. Something like this. So the blues, you know how they say that the F sharp is a passing note? But if you do it right, you can kind of land on that note. Because it's the flat 7 on the A flat too, right? And maybe play that G, outline that G7 every now and then. But it's like Schofield. That's how I would approach a chord situation like that. It's kind of like when it's that kind of situation, right? It's modal, and if I try to play all those, it's not the kind of approach I would have. And I always try to avoid when you have the Lang cliche, and don't play too much in the comping or in the soloing, because then you have to play those. So I leave it open and play like minor 6. You could do the Barry Harris thing, where it's like a minor 6 to diminished. C minor 6 diminished, inversion of C minor 6. I have talked about the Barry Harris in a lot of videos, so this is a tune where you can apply that stuff. Okay, so that was Too Darn Hot. Definitely check out Ella Fitzgerald, probably the most famous version. And I recommend the Emmett Cohen, Katie Georgie version is really good too. And then you have another tune to add to your repertoire. And if you want all the Cole Porter videos of all the tunes, you can join us at Patreon, where I put up weekly Cole Porter tunes until I reach 50 Cole Porter tune, and then I will maybe start with another composer. I'm not sure yet. And with all that, I want to thank you for your time and attention, and I shall see you next time.